We don't know the answer. I think nobody knows the answer. Even the Indian head coach sitting right now scratching his head doesn't know the answer. Because as much as the question has been discussed for, let's say, last, I don't know, 7, 8 years since Chetri started reaching his 30s, we've been looking at options, but I don't think any of us can come up with a firm name.
Hey, we have a guest on the show. We have a guest on the show. It's always nice when we have a guest on the show. I should probably stop singing. That is not one of my strong suits, I guess. But welcome, Manasi Pathak, to the corner flag. And this is a momentous occasion for us because Manasi Pathak is a journalist. We have credibility on this show, guys.
No pressure on me, no pressure.
No pressure at all.
No, really, there's no pressure. Like, even if you say, oh, yeah, football is a game between 11 players versus 11 players, that's probably more accurate than anything we've said in the last 3 years. So,
Great start.
like,
that is very true. Mukesh is also known for his hot takes that end up polarizing the social media audience a lot. It is great for our engagement. He fulfills his purpose in that sense.
yeah.
But we'll get to all the fun stuff. Let's get the formalities out of the way. Mansi, of course, is a writer who basically does a lot of her journalism around sports, football in particular. She's going to be covering the Euros for Al Jazeera. She's going to be covering the Olympics for Al Jazeera as well. And in the past, she has also covered the Qatar World Cup for Reuters.
Yeah, I think we can go on board with that because nobody will listen to it, so I'm safe.
Oh, that hurts.
Yeah.
Well
Dil
done,
pe
Mansi.
laga.
Well done.
वो तो दिल पे लगा, but that means Mansi is now officially one of the corner flag because she has fired the shots not even 3 minutes into recording. So this is a great start, but it is lovely to have you
She
here.
might as well ask us now what is an offside.
Exactly.
She's like, hey, you are guys who pretend to know football, tell me, what's an offside? Go, Mansi, do it. Throw it at us.
Honestly.
Actually, don't, huh? I don't know what it is.
I don't think anybody knows what the offside is anymore. I don't think FIFA
Exactly.
or IFAB or any of the governing bodies know exactly what the fuck offside or any other rule in football is anymore. But yes, it is great to have you with us, Mansi. We've been chatting offline and we've been trying for many weeks to make this happen, and finally it has happened. So this is very, very cool. So let's begin with some issues closer to home because Sunil Chhetri, captain, legend, Mr. Fantastic, Mr. Indian football, has announced his retirement and has played his final game in the national team colours on the 6th of June. India played Kuwait in a World Cup qualifier, which ended 0-0, which was his last match for the nation. How are we feeling about our leader for more than 2 decades hanging up his boots? Yeah,
It's heartbreaking, man.
it is. It
Really is.
I feel like every time a football player retires, I realize how old I am. Because I clearly remember we were at the end of the Baichung Bhutia era. Like, we were at the end of that. We were like, oh, there's a guy called Baichung Bhutia who plays. And we're like, yeah, Sunil Chhetri is the guy. And now I'm like, shit. Now there are people younger who are like, oh, who's the Sunil Chhetri guy?
Yeah.
Like, you had to be there.
Yeah. No, but I feel like Sunil Chhetri is the most recognizable name in Indian football and has been for the better part of 2 decades, right? Like, it's a fantastic, illustrious career that he's had for the national team. I mean, to be amongst the leading international goal scorers along with Messi and Ronaldo is absolutely next level fantastic. But questions are now going to be asked, like you said, Mukesh, we saw the end of the Baichung Bhutia era and we saw Sunil Chhetri rise and we're like, oh, this guy is the new Baichung Bhutia. Who's going to be the new Sunil Chhetri? There's a big hole there. Mansi, how is this nation going to cope?
We don't know the answer. I think nobody knows the answer. Even the Indian head coach sitting right now scratching his head doesn't know the answer. Because as much as the question has been discussed for, let's say, last, I don't know, 7, 8 years since Chhetri started reaching his 30s, we've been looking at options, but I don't don't think any of us can come up with a firm name. Sure, there are like 4, 5 names that come up. And I think the reason to that is very systematic, because in India, when you see most of the times the ISL clubs or any clubs try to go for foreigners who play that role. Yeah, you end up playing all these Indian players in a wide midfielder role as best. So when you're not going to give them the chance to play in that role, there's nobody going to come up and take the role going forward. And I'm not even talking about the responsibility and leadership.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And so let's kind of try and split that question into two, because those are two very valid points that you raised. One is, who is the person who's going to play in that position, where Indian football has seen an astounding lack of talent in that specific position. And of course, the second part of this discussion is the leadership ability. So let's start off with the position in play, right? Now, what you said is absolutely right. ISL clubs tend to hire foreigners to play that striker, center forward role. And there is I'm closer to Mumbai City than most other ISL clubs, so I know what the young Indian striker situation in Mumbai City is. We have Ayush Chikara. Gurkirat Singh was there. He's left the club this season or at the end of this season. And while both Gurkirat and Ayush are massive prospects, I would say Ayush a little bit more than Gurkirat, because Gurkirat has been given chances for a little while longer, and he hasn't really capitalized on those. Ayush, before he tore his ACL, was in a hot streak. He was in a great run of form, especially in the Durand Cup. But they're still kids. They're still 21, at best 22. I think Ayush is 19, if I'm not mistaken. You can't put those kids in that position just yet.
Yeah.
Currently, we have Manveer Singh, who is playing in the Indian national team, who can fill that role, but there's no depth there. There is absolutely no depth there.
Right. I used to follow and cover Indian football a bit more keenly about 4 years ago. And at that time, I thought at that time that Manveer would probably come as a successor to Chhetri. Today, we're sitting to 2024, and we still have that doubt. And
we still have the doubt.
And I don't think he's that young either. I'm sorry. I think he's 28. So it's not even like he's somebody who was very young at the time and he needed time to sort of develop. But since you mentioned Mumbai City, I think Vikram Pratap Singh might be one option that we can look at in terms of somebody playing in that number 9 role or as a centre forward. I know he's played mostly on as a wide midfielder or on the wings for Mumbai.
Yeah.
But I think he had a good season, the one that just ended, right?
Yes, he had a fantastic season, and you're right, he does play more on the left wing. And I feel like he is a lot more lethal when he is on the left wing, and he plays a slight free role where he does drift into the central positions where he can finish off chances. But a lot of his work rate, which he is known for, which is one of his best assets, I feel, tends to be utilized when he's on the wing, because that's when he can terrorize those defenders. That's when he can stretch the play, and that's when he can run at the defenders, because the ball is also very, very fast. He's also not physically, I feel, in the right shape to take that centre forward role. I don't think he's as strong as a centre forward needs to be. And of course, he is also a young kid, so he is definitely going to develop. But again, immediately, and especially now for the next game, we're playing Qatar next. That's not the option. That is not the like for like replacement that one can think of. So, this is a major problem, and I think, and this is a discussion that has been happening in Indian football fan circles a lot, is कि यार OCI players को दे दो ना chance.
Yeah.
कितने हैं हमारे?
We'll even take that Hamza Chaudhary from Leicester City.
Bangladesh.
He's Bangladesh.
I know. I'm saying we'll just take him. We'll just incorporate him.
So the idea is उसका बांग्लादेशी पासपोर्ट जो है और बांग्लादेशी हेरिटेज जो है उसको सर्कमवेंट करते हैं, सिटीजनशिप अमेंडमेंट एक्ट को भी सर्कमवेंट करते हैं, and then we'll figure something out, guys. We'll figure something out. 400 पार नहीं हुआ है, so everything is possible.
Oh my God, Mansi, can you save us? Can you?
No, I mean,
can you save us from this monster who's saying anything? Waha we can't take Bal Bazira's name properly, and here you're taking KJP's name. So
Listen,
easily, excellent.
virality के लिए हम कुछ भी करेगा, even at the risk of death threats, which will marginally reduce because, like I said, 400 पार तो नहीं हुआ है, तो majority has reduced. So if you do it comparatively, then it might
No,
it
so
might
I
go down.
actually was thinking, right? Like now you have in the current squad, you have two Indian Kerala Blasters strikers. I mean, I've only seen him play for Kerala Blasters. I think Ishan Panita and Rahul KP or Rahul KL,
Yeah,
his name. Oh
yeah,
no, not
yeah.
Rahul KL,
KP,
obviously.
KL
KP.
Rahul. Ah, sir.
Rahul KP.
But so I think you have to moneyball Chetri. Like in that you strip him down into like six components and be like, where can I get them in? Like, okay, with someone like a Rahul Keeper, you get that little bit of age and build. Like he's got a very similar build to Chetri. So you
Yeah.
get that little bit of streakiness from him and you get him for like 25 minutes. Right? And with I think with someone like Ishan, then you probably get that little I think more people also don't talk about how much Chetri is like he takes on a fight. You know what
Yeah.
I'm trying to say? He's not. And maybe from someone like Ishan, you get that little bit of. He's also a little experienced, so you get that experience plus ability to take on a fight. I feel like you have to moneyball Chetri.
Yeah.
So you have to strip him down into six components, and that's the way to replace Chetri. That's my solution.
But then there's the age-old ship of Theseus argument. No, okay. Is it really Sunil Chhetri then? If you strip him down and replace every part, is it even the man himself? Yeah. So again, like, unfortunately, Rahul KP has also not had a great domestic season.
Sure, I mean you have ups
So
and downs in forms, but
there's
overall, I think he's had like you can use him. He's not. He's currently playing for the team, and he's not. Like I said, of course he's not at the level that you'd expect Chetri to be, but you do. You can get attributes from him
yeah.
that are Chetri-esque.
Yeah, yeah. So the next attribute that we should talk about is, like Mansi said, the leadership ability, because this
Yeah.
man has carried that captain's armband for what, 2 decades now, and it's ridiculous to think of anybody else having that armband or anybody else having that position in that Indian national team dressing room. So let's think of some candidates, right? Like off the top of my head, Rahul Beke and Gurpreet Singh Sandhu come to mind because those are the more senior players. Those are the more for the lack of a better term, and I hate to be saying this, the more famous players in the Indian national team, right?
Sandesh, man, how Sandesh not in your top two?
Sandesh is not in the
He's not
national
young,
team
no?
anymore.
Yeah.
He's not young.
He's not been called up for these fixtures, so he's in and out of the national team. And Sandesh is also on the way out. Like he's not getting any
The backs
younger.
are gonna last. I do feel like you can have him like a Henderson sort of a captain.
If
You are
look
only
at
making
if
it
you
worse. First you said Sandesh Jinkan, then
yeah,
you're Henderson.
exactly, no, this is not
Okay. Oh, no,
going
no.
well for him.
I said Sandesh Jingan because Amog and I have gone to a football match and we've just both crushed on Sandesh Jingan, I think.
Oh,
नहीं
okay.
नहीं वो तो है
Okay.
We
पर
were
वो
just both
मतलब
lusting
कितना
after him, leching.
that was 4 years ago, Mukesh.
That was 4 years ago.
So times have changed.
Yeah.
Also, I just want to point out, like, what Mansi is right. Like, first you've said Sandesh Jingan for India captain, then you've said he's like Henderson, and you are also in Hyderabad, which finished last in the ISL and has a massive ownership issue happening. They might have to dissolve the club. So things in relation to Indian football are really not going your way right now as it stands, Mukesh. So
But don't forget, we won a couple of years last year. Yeah.
What you
exactly.
were.
Not too long ago.
You're living in the past only. I'm a United fan. That's my job.
Me too. Let's go.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's Mansi and our job to be
That's why they formed this tacit alliance. Now I see it.
Now you see
Now
it, right?
I
No,
see it.
so I see Sandesh is not an option for sure. I think Gurpreet, because he's got some international experience also, having played in.
And I think he
Norway.
has sort of been the captain in Chetri's absence or something. I definitely remember him taking the armband. I'm not a big fan of goalkeepers being captains. I think it's better when it's an outfield player. But we don't have much choices here. So
we absolutely do not. We absolutely do not. The other thing is, of course, the game itself against Kuwait was very, very disappointing. It was a must-win game for us to have any chance of actually keeping our qualification to the third round of the qualifiers in our own hands, and we couldn't beat a Kuwaiti side. Like, it was a, and I'm all for being all patriotic and support our blue tigers and all, पर यार after a point थोड़ा shambolic performance को call out करना necessary है, क्योंकि क्या कर रहे थे ये लोग?
Yeah. I think I wanted to travel for that match, and unfortunately it didn't work out. But now in hindsight, I saved money. Didn't lose a lot of money.
Can you saved money, saved the fact that you didn't have to sit amongst 80,000 sweaty people in Kolkata heat.
I feel bad for them, because getting a ticket for matches at that Salt Lake Stadium is not an easy job. I have so many friends who wanted to and they couldn't do it. And then it's 0-0. Give us one goal. Give us one goal. But yeah, lots of heavy touches, missed time passes. It was sort of, I don't know, painful to watch in bits and pieces. I didn't watch the whole
And
game.
also, I was like, shit, this Indian football team is still very Indian in that you build up something in this narrative, right? Our legendary captain's final game. You build this incredible narrative. We're gonna win it, and then it's a draw. Okay, even if we lost really badly, that's still something. That's still a narrative.
Yeah.
But now it's like it was just a tame draw, and I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, what do you talk about then? What do you talk about?
Also a nil draw.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't even a
2-2 draw.
Yeah.
Even a 1-1. Like, they went up and then we equalized.
Some plot.
The narrative is still strong. There's some fight back.
We were winning and then we lost, which is a symbol for the leaving captain. How will they be without him? It's just 0-0.
I mean, too many, like you said, Mansi, too many heavy touches, just terrible finishing. And again, we go back to the previous discussion, like who's the guy who's going to take that goal scoring legacy forward? Like we had a few chances and he did not capitalize on them. It was just a terrible performance all around. And I think this is something that the management, and by management I mean AIFF, needs to take cognizance of, because by and large I think most Indian fans are of the opinion, and they are right, that Igor Stimac is not the right man to coach this Indian side anymore. Like, उसने जो भी किया है अब तक के लिए ठीक है, but he is clearly not in a position to take this team forward. And whether that is entirely his fault or if it is somewhat his fault and somewhat AIF's fault is debatable. But fault to hai. And something needs to give. Like we were talking about this before the last round of, or rather after the last round of fixtures as well, that Stimac needs to step down or he needs to be sacked. Like, I don't know why they're taking so long to press the trigger, but they really need to shake that management team up.
I think in between he did say, right, that if so and so happens, I will step down. I don't remember what exactly it was. I think he said if we don't make it to the next round, I will step down. But we did.
No, he promised that they'll make it to the next round, but he basically had a war with AIFF about the training camps. And that is another issue that is plaguing Indian football, because ISL clubs don't want to let their players go for the national team training camps. There is a lot of tutu meme that happens there. And that structure is just not there in Indian football. And it needs to be. If you look at any European country that is doing relatively well, just see the robust structures that their associations have put into place.
I think you don't even have to go to Europe. Look at our counterparts in Asia, Japan, South Korea. Even Qatar are doing so well these days. Right? It was funny when during the Asian Cup, I think he said that my focus is not the Asian Cup. I'm more focusing on the World Qualifier, which feels stupid because the Asian Cup is like the World Cup for India. That's the best you can get. And if the coach is saying that, if I'm a player for them, I'm going to feel weird. Like, he's the one who's passing on this message. I'm not going to feel motivated. It was weird. And you feel weird. It was in January. It's June now. 5 months later, he's still in his job. Imagine you did that in your job.
You know, we keep talking about government bureaucracy in this country. The way our footballing structure is made at the moment, it is a mirror image of that. Like, if you want the definition of bureaucracy in sport, matlab AIFF is the classic example of it. And while fans are doing their bit and saying no, we will see India qualify for the World Cup in our lifetime, boss, nahi hone wala hai. The future is very, very bleak. Like, let's come to terms with reality. Hum kafi fucked hai. So let's enjoy whatever little joy that we get from watching our boys play. But till things change from the top, kuch nahi hone wala hai. And on that somber note, let's talk about the Euros.
That was damn depressing.
So let's talk about the Euros. Of course, Euros what 5-6 days away now, and we shall talk about the motherland from India to England because nobody. कितना कैंसल होने वाला हूँ मैं इस एपिसोड के बाद. All the nationalists are going to.
No, nobody, nothing.
I'm
They all
here to
follow English
support you.
football.
Don't worry. I'm a delusional England fan, so I'm here to support you.
Perfect. So the reason why we're specifically going to be talking about England is because who the fuck cares about the other nations? That is the official journalistic line that we're taking.
I have been supporting Holland since 2010 when they made it to that World Cup where they made it to the final. So I think there's no one been more delusional about. I guess we're on par between Holland and England. It's an equal amount of delusion.
I don't think I support one national team in the World Cup. Or
Nobody does.
Oh
no! Clearly, Mukesh does. No, Holland.
I mean, even I do, man.
Yeah,
Talk for yourself.
Yeah, exactly. How do you
Really?
guys not? Okay, if there's any competition, how are you not picking a guy? How are you just like, wow, let me appreciate this for what it is? What kind of an attitude to that is to life?
I go match to match.
Yeah.
I go match to match. I'm not like मैं ये tournament में England को ही support करता हूँ.
You know who does that? The people who do gambling.
Caught me red-handed. 1x bet quit कर रहा हूँ मैं अभी.
So those Bet365 ads have been working on you.
Yeah. Do gamble responsibly. Or just don't because it's not fun. It is. Lots of money. No. So the England squad, of course, Gareth Southgate announced the final England squad. Now, firstly, he announced a list of probables, a 33-man probable squad before, which didn't feature the likes of Marcus Rashford, and United fans were not as upset about it as one thought they would be, because it was like, fuck all khela wo season bhar, doesn't deserve it, let him rest, let him come back for United stronger next season. But the big news in his final 26-man squad is certain players who we thought would not be cut have been cut. James Maddison, Harry Maguire, and Jack Grealish are not going to the Euros. Mansi, how do you react to these players?
Good. I'm happy Jack Grealish is not going to the Euros. I'm surprised he was there in the preliminary squad because there are others. For example, there has been so much of outrage over, if not Rashford, Jadon Sancho not being chosen, especially because we all love nostalgia, and right now everybody is drunk over his Dortmund performance. So even if we take that and compare it with Grealish has not been consistent, right? So I don't see why he was chosen in the first place, and if he's being let go, I don't see a problem in that. About the others, I think Maguire has an injury issue, if I'm not wrong.
Maguire is injured, so he's not fit.
That's why they've left him.
Yeah.
That's why. No, because at the same time, Luke Shaw also hasn't played any football almost in the season because of injury.
And they're taking a risk with him.
He comes and proves,
I think this is the season they murder Luke Shaw. Like they're like, listen, you don't have much of a career left. You're too injured. Kill yourself this Euros, win us the cup, and retire like a champion. This is the murder Luke Shaw attempt.
This is probably the murder Luke Shaw attempt. But yeah, so the official reasoning is that Maguire is injured and hasn't been able to be fit for the final squad. Maddison, of course, also understandable because while he started off great for Spurs this season, got injured, and his form after coming back from injury was not great towards the end of the season. So, and especially with the options that England have now in those positions, I think it made no sense to rely on the fitness or lack of fitness of Maddison. And the same kind of applies to Grealish as well, because the names that have been taken are Anthony Gordon and Eberechi Eze. So, if you're Jack Grealish, you are £100 million player playing for the champions of England, who are the champions 4 times in a row. You've won the treble last season. You've won everything there is to win except an international trophy. And you have been cut for players from Newcastle and Crystal Palace. How does that make you feel? Like, if I was Jack Grealish with the IQ that the man has, I'd be like, what the fuck?
I mean, he has to pay for his own actions, I guess. That's the price you pay for, I don't know, the consequences of your own actions. He chose to be in a team which is full of talented players where he knew he's not going to get a consistent game time, and you sort of, that sort of bit him in the back at the end. But I'm sort of happy with the fact that Southgate, for a change, has chosen players on form and not his loyalty and bias.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that
Yeah.
is
Because
good.
he's been criticized for that quite often. And case in point being Harry Maguire, regardless of what his form was or what his playing time was at Man United, Maguire was always in the starting 11 for
Same for
England.
Rashford. Same for
Same
Rashford,
for
right?
Rashford.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And but at least Rashford was coming off the bench. Maguire was in the starting
yeah,
11.
true.
So that was a slightly weird one from Southgate. But finally, I feel like for this tournament, he's tried to shake things around, and maybe it works out for England, and it ends up coming home like they've been chanting for
Who
what
knows?
8 years now.
Who knows?
We never know. But speaking of Grealish, coming back to Grealish, do you think now is the time for Grealish to look for a move away from Man City? Maybe a lovely romantic return to Aston Villa for him.
No, yeah. I
Why
don't think
not?
so. I don't
Okay,
think
think
so.
about it. Think
It's
about it. He'll
okay.
he'll go back to his boyhood club where the fans love him, and I think still do.
Hmm.
He will be playing under Unai Emery, who is doing great things with Aston Villa.
Hmm.
He has chances of silverware and an underdog run in a European competition as well with Aston Villa. He can now bring his experience from Man City to that Aston Villa dressing room, help the club, reach new heights. Sure, he'll have to take a pay cut. He'll, not go for as much money.
Wait, which is a
But
big one, by the way.
I
Yeah.
Sure, he
mean,
has to take a pay
Yeah.
cut isn't a small statement to make.
okay, Jack,
Given that
if
he
you're
probably has 3 good years left.
okay, Jack, instead of drinking Kettle One vodka, absolute पे आजा यार, कोई बात नहीं है, कोई tension नहीं है. It's literally the same thing. Nobody can tell the difference. It is clear alcohol. It is the same thing. तू ethyl alcohol पिएगा तो भी same effect ही आएगा. कोई stress नहीं है, no stress. But it actually would make sense because he'll get a lot more playing time. He'll be the main man. He'll play literally every fucking game, and that's the only way that Southgate or whoever is going to manage England after this decides to bring him back into the national team fold.
I know, I still feel like if I was Grealish, I mean, not just the money part, but I think maybe you have a point to prove. I don't know if Grealish is that kind of player who's shown like he wants to prove a point, but if I was him after a year of being doubted like this, then winning something reasonably big next year with Man City and playing an important part might, like that should motivate him. Well, that's a
Technically, yes.
this all prescriptive. Yeah, it's not how
Yeah.
what is in accordance with his personality. But so yeah, because I'm saying if he's someone who won't take that challenge at Man City, there's no way he's going to be okay taking it at Aston Villa, right? Because the challenge then is going to be what uh, a Europa League maybe. Like there's no barely any chance that they'll make it out of their Champions League group next season. I mean, realistically, uh,
But
going into the
even then,
knockouts.
okay, if not Aston Villa, I'm sure he can go to any other club in England or even abroad,
Yep.
where he gets to be
Yes,
more of a
Grealish
main man
abroad
player.
Yeah.
sounds like a more fun thing.
Yeah.
Like a Grealish at even an Italian club, which would probably suit his little bit of laziness. I don't know. But definitely, he's not going to a German club. We all know that, right? Like it's a given that he won't go to a German club. So
I seriously doubt his capability of moving anywhere abroad because वो समझ नहीं पाएगा.
sure. But I'm saying you
वो
will.
language classes fail कर देगा यार. Like how is he is not going to be able to grasp a new language. He doesn't grasp simple concepts
He,
like those confetti cannons. उसको वो नहीं जमता है. वो इटालियन किधर सीखेगा?
I know.
he hasn't grasped one language, but
Yeah,
maybe. Then he'll get the other one. He'll get.
he's barely grasped English. So where is he going to learn German or Italian? Like those are tough languages, and it is statistically harder for people after a certain age to pick up new languages.
Yes.
So while it would be great for the footballer Jack Grealish to go abroad, I don't think it'd be great for the person to go
Or for
abroad.
Italy in general.
Or for Italy in general. Yeah, the havoc that he would cause in that country would be next level. Like there's paparazzi photos of him shoving tequila down the Pope's throat or something. It will cause an international incident is all I'm saying. So Jack Grealish, stay away from Europe.
Yeah,
Please go back to Aston
he's
Villa.
going to MLS for all you know. He loves partying. He can do something good abroad.
He can
There's
do
good money
absolutely.
there. And if you are somebody who doesn't want to hustle a lot and still make decent money, might as well go there.
It's a great place to go. But we know how much he partied after the treble, right? Like there are photographic evidence, and this win as well. Like even this title win, we have seen him stumble out of nightclubs at 5 a.m. How does he respond to being cut from the England Euro squad? Like what is the bender that he goes on? Because we know he's going on a bender.
Ibiza. He said he's going to be in Ibiza with Madison.
He's going to be in Ibiza with Madison.
No, probably go to Greece with Maguire.
Are you stoking a lot of rumors about them?
Yeah, or Greece. I don't know. I think Greece. I think last time, usually Greece is like one of the places they go there to party. And Haaland's anyway not playing. He's going to be chilling with him for all you know. Man City teammate.
I feel like he'll book a flight to Germany and he'll get the hotel that the England team is staying in. He'll be like, oh, I thought being cut from the Euro squad meant I had to pay for my flight and stay.
Which is fine.
But I can still play, right? You can still select. No, Jack, that's not how it works. You've done this 4 years. You should know by now. Right. Anyway, on that note, let's take a quick break. On the other side, we'll talk about some fantastic bits of news from the world of football, including a 31-year-old manager for Brighton. See you on the other side. Welcome back to the Corner Flag, everybody. And as always, we begin the second half with your questions. Questions with the Corner Flag.
Dude, answers also, huh?
So our first question is by Noob Clicks. His question is, how big is the impact of Captain Sunil Chhetri on Indian football?
Okay, for Noob Clicks, fantastic question. Rewind karo to the start of the episode and your answer is there. But to succinctly put it, I hand it over to Manasi to succinctly give the answer to this question.
I think, like we discussed earlier, he's the face of Indian football. When I talk about Indian football with anybody between the ages of, say, teenagers and up to 40, they're all going to probably talk about Sunil Chhetri. And more than that, his talent and his goals have also made a name for himself internationally. Because every time you see this football graphic of top international scorers, you're going to see an Indian there. That makes people question, who is this? If not, at least go and Google. So I feel like in India, especially in India, which is a cricket-mad country, I remember in 2019, there was an Intercontinental Cup match in Mumbai and there was very poor turnout. And then Chhetri put out a message saying, please do come for the game.
I was going to
100th
we went for that match, by the way.
Yeah, even I was at that match.
We were in and went.
I was a full house. I mean, Andheri football stadium is not, sorry, Mumbai football arena is not a big ground, but still some 6,000 to 8,000 people turned up. Even my friends who don't give a damn about Indian football, but they were like, if the skipper is calling, it's our duty to turn up. So that's the impact he has. And also something off the field that I want to mention, during COVID, the Delta wave that happened in 2021, he was using his Twitter account to send information about hospital beds, oxygen cylinders, etc. So I feel that his legacy is definitely going to live forever outside the field as well.
Absolutely. Sir, what a legacy he has, and it will continue forever and ever. Absolutely.
True. The next question is by Zen Hiren. Hiren, by the way, sent questions last week as well. So this is something like an extension from that. It's more like, which players would you get from each other's clubs?
Okay, that's a fun one. Mukesh, you want to start off with this one? We're not going to talk about Akarsh's club, Everton, because he's not here, and also because
oh my God, I would take nobody from Everton.
I'd take Branthwaite, actually.
Yeah.
I'd take Branthwaite, which we probably are going to.
Akarsh is just turning. He's just flipping that chappal to throw at you now.
From United, I'll probably take Kobe Mainu because he's young and he's untainted by that fully United, the modern United gene. He still seems to have some of that old United gene. So then we go Mainu. From Chelsea. Yeah. You know what?
मत कर, तू साला लेके भाग गया है. You guys will still, you'll be happy with it. Okay, he's your legendary guy for everything, so be happy with that. Chelsea.
Okay, I'll actually from Chelsea, I will take. You know what? I'll just take an Enzo because I still feel like there's somewhere in there that like a much better player than what's being used there, and maybe with a little bit of coaching and a little bit of support, an Enzo can be, someone who turns out to be incredible.
All right, Prashant, what about you?
Oh, sorry, I just take Caicedo because just we were supposed to take him anyway, and then it didn't happen. But yeah, I guess Enzo
Hey,
Caicedo.
I remember you and Klopp saying, "Oh, what a bullet we dodged, huh?" अच्छा है, ये होते हैं Liverpool fans.
Mansi, wait, you also support United, right? So I guess
Yes.
that's just two teams. Okay, so
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Now your turn.
Amog and I can go together. We'll decide
Yeah,
which one
yeah,
whom we want for United.
exactly. Yeah,
But which teams
yeah.
are we talking about? That was Liverpool, I figure. Prashant's team
So
is.
Mukesh is Liverpool, Prashant is Chelsea.
Oh, what do you think? Should we go with Cole Palmer or not?
Yeah, we need a striking option to help Hoyland. So Cole Palmer is definitely somebody that we should be looking at. And yeah, in the middle of the park, Enzo is the most classy midfielder that they have, and those are the two areas that we need strengthening in. So from Chelsea, it would be Cole Palmer and Enzo for me. From Liverpool, absolutely fucking no one. They're all trash.
Everybody knows you don't mean that. Like, pretty much,
Oh, no,
even
no.
Mansi knows you're not lying. You're lying about
Mansi,
that.
is there a Liverpool player that you would want? If there is, you can say it, and I will tell you why it's not worth it.
Soboslai, I guess. He's been good.
क्या किया
Wow.
life में?
Wait for
Apart from looking good and getting all the women on my timeline interested in Liverpool, he has done sweet fuck all.
Which is actually a lot more than most footballers.
I think he might be one to watch in the Euros as well. We'll have this conversation a month later.
पर ये एक है, this is a valid point.
हाँ.
Soboslai for Hungary has always played well, and that is the reason why he came into the scouting lens of Liverpool as well. कि हाँ ये player अच्छा है, ये करेगा. At club level, I am sorry, his form this season has not been anything spectacular. It has been okay. Like it started off from he is the heir to Steven Gerrard and he's wearing his number 8 jersey. To यार उसका नाम कैसे बोलते हैं हमको आता नहीं है. Like that fall from grace has been really
There is
steep.
this meme which says that if he didn't have a Z in his name, he won't be so famous.
That is true. Yeah. Anybody else, Mansi? Even if you want, Mukesh, if you think that there is a really good player in Liverpool that United should be looking at objectively, then tell me and I'll tell you why. No.
I mean, objectively left the window like about 37 minutes ago when we started the podcast. No, I don't want United to get any Liverpool player.
Achha, okay. Now see how the tables are turning. Prashant, did you say who you want from? No, you didn't. You didn't say who you want from United and Liverpool.
From United, I would want. Of course, I would want. But
it's like you wanted the manager and then you took Maresca.
No. By the way, we haven't even spoken about Maresca. We'll get into it at some point whenever.
Yeah.
Player-wise, I think I would like Garnacho. I would like Garnacho, and I would take Bissaka more than Garnacho for Chelsea.
Okay.
Wow. I feel personally honored by that. I'm a big Aaron Van Bissaka fan.
Yeah.
I have his jersey.
Yeah. No, he's damn cool, dude. He won't make any big difference at this point, but it'll be nice for Chelsea.
No, he will, because he is a much better right back than Reece James.
He won't get injured as much. He's not better than Reece James.
He's probably so much better than Reece James.
Fuck. No, we're not getting into this. He's just...
Okay, I'm sorry. Defensively, one-on-one, he is miles ahead of Reece James. Injury-wise, miles ahead of Reece James. Attacking-wise, yes, Reece James is better. But then again, Reece James, you're a fucking defender. तेरा पहला job defending है, attacking नहीं. ये तेरा extra curricular activities है, तू उस पे focus कर रहा है. तेरा जो job description है, उस पे तू focus नहीं कर रहा है. Keeping all of that in mind,
when Amog wants to defend a United player, he starts speaking in Hindi.
Yeah.
I love that. There's like little extra josh.
I feel like that's when he's made his point.
But that's only because you will not understand it. That's only because you will not understand it.
I can't imagine when Amog shifts into Marathi.
एकदम एक नंबर. एकच fight वातावरण type.
When it was Fergie era, that's where he was. During Fergie era, he was a full Marathi United.
Yeah. full on. But yeah, cool. There
From
we go.
Liverpool, I wish.
Nick Salah back.
No, fuck that. He wouldn't know. No, I don't want it back. Also, I would say Trent.
Yes, because you have someone who can play
Trent,
without being injured at left back, huh?
of course, because we always have like 26 players, 32 players in our
Yeah.
squad. So why not? Let's just add more. Yes. Next question is by Dark Horseculars. He says, "What are your predictions? Who will win the Euros and Copa America?"
I think let's start off with Mansi because she's
Yeah.
the source of credibility on this
Yeah.
podcast.
We have
Apparently.
no
Having-
answers.
No, having officially covered international tournaments in the past as a job,
Yeah.
I feel like you're more credible than us. हमने तो
You
कुछ किया
actually
नहीं.
made money from football.
Yeah, exactly.
We not only have now made no money, we brought disrepute to our families.
We've lost money to football.
Yeah, we've lost money. Yeah, of course, we've lost money.
I don't know. I've been reading about it quite a lot, and usually I don't know. The four names come in my head, of which one is England, but that's not credible. So let's get it out. That's my personal bias. And maybe on the other side, I feel like if England are to win, this is their best chance. That's one way I can say. And the bookmakers are betting on England the most, by the way. Then I think Portugal have a good chance. I guess they might have a good chance. Other France. I think France is somebody who's going to be big competitor. Other than that, I'll go for Spain over Germany. Germany, I have a hot take. I think they'll get out in the first round.
Yeah,
but-
I do agree. Germany is not going to do well, and I feel like France and Portugal are the clear favorites for me. England outside chance.
Oh, so it's so strange because I was thinking for Euros that, of course, my whatever take is my so-called bias take is Holland, but with seven clean sheets in a row, 8 clean sheets, how many ever matches they're playing. But I actually think England has a very good chance. I don't know why you guys are suddenly like making them seem like they're an outside chance. I do feel like they're an excellent chance, like because now not only is like Bellingham is there, he's played outside. He's played outside of England. He understands, which I guess most of the other English footballers don't. Right? Now, if Sancho's there, he's also played outside a little bit. There is a little bit of that. So I do feel like England have a very good chance. Harry Kane has played outside now.
Yeah.
In fact, he's played in Germany. He's toured all around Germany. And he's played all forms of the clubs. So I think England have a very good chance. I would actually say my bias take is Holland, and my realistic winner is going to be England. And I do feel like even last time, it was a very unfair criticism. On people forget that they actually made it to the finals and they lost on penalties.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not like they like the way the media would have portrayed. If you just have to look back, you'll assume that maybe they got out of the first round.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's England with a very realistic chance and Holland with a passion.
I actually do agree with this. Thinking about it, England do have a very, very realistic chance, and you missed out the most serious reason for that, which is that for the first time in how many ever years, there's no Spurs player in this England lineup. So that curse has finally possibly been broken, because Maddison not being there means that there's no Spurs player in that England lineup. The only way to get trophies, guys. So, maybe. There was a Spurs fan on Twitter, by the way, who commented on this and said, if England actually win it, we are never hearing the end of this. Which is true. I honestly want England to win just to see the fallout of Spurs fans on that. Yeah, there we go.
And Copa America, do we have anything? Or we don't care about?
Copa America. So,
we can't say Brazil and Argentina, guys, or something. I don't know.
We can't say what?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Okay, we can. Okay, say because my passion chances are not because there's a Liverpool player, but I do think Uruguay look really good. Because
Bielsa, no?
Bielsa plus they have Fede, Valverde as captain. They have this guy Darwin Nunez, who's actually been great form for Uruguay. He's actually finishing chances for some reason. Yeah. I don't know if the posts are like slightly bigger or something. I don't know.
Usko factory reset kiya hai Bielsa ne.
Yeah, so I do think obviously if you look outside Brazil and Argentina, I do feel like Uruguay the passion and dark horse, but maybe I don't know, man. Argentina, because they're carrying the vibes still. They're carrying the World Cup vibes still.
Yeah.
And Brazil don't look like they're going to give them that much competition, although they're great, but just compared to the vibes and skill will always beat skill.
Yeah. Yeah.
Words. Lovely
Words.
words.
Come on, Bulls.
And that's all the questions we've had, guys.
Awesome. Thank you so much for writing in. And you can keep doing that by following us on Instagram at the rate corner flag pod. Right. You know, guys, and girl, sorry, can't be completely male dominated. We've been used to that for a while. But you know how when you start watching football, you're like, oh, fuck, this guy's like 18 and he's starting to play in this big club, United, Liverpool, whatever. And you're like, oh, I'm 18, I should also be there. And then you get older and you're like, oh, fuck, there's this 17-year-old kid when you're 25. You're like, he's so young and he's playing. What am I doing with my life? Then you get even older and you're saying, oh, Wayne Rooney is my age and now he's retiring. What am I doing with my life? Well, our lives are going to get a lot more worse. We're going to feel a lot worse about ourselves because Brighton are reportedly set to announce their new manager. And he is 31 years old. I'm 34. I don't know how to react.
I just turned 31 and I'm not sure how to react to this piece of information.
Yeah, this is horrible.
I feel like Brighton is now FIFA Manager Club.
Yeah. Fully.
And also, okay, guys, remember when we were young, managers felt like this ancient beings.
Exactly.
And now
we
it's
are
like,
just used
the
to
managers are younger than us.
Yeah. It just throws the dynamics off so much, right? Like we've been used to seeing Fergusons and Wengers and Bobby Robsons and all, right? Like they were like older, they were in their 60s, 70s, and they were managing a team of young players or whatever, right? And that is the dynamic that we've been used to. And now, अगर मैनेजरी प्लेयर से यंग है तो how is that dynamic going to work? Because we saw that with Nagelsmann at Bayern and it didn't work out because the players didn't respect him enough. So it's going to be really, really fascinating. But at the same time, it's Brighton. Brighton know how to get these interesting coaches and put them in the hot seat and get excellent performances out of them.
And then Chelsea will copy it, don't worry.
Exactly. Then Chelsea will copy it.
Chelsea will... Chelsea will buy him, make him a billionaire, and then fire him.
Then fire him. Exactly. And Prashant, you were saying that we haven't
Which
spoken
is
about...
actually the ultimate dream move.
Yeah.
Right? Like, he used to get hired by a football club, really young, become a billionaire, retire by 35, and just...
Yeah, early retirement is everybody's goal.
Yeah.
But yeah, on a serious note, I was reading about him before you told me about him, and I think even though he's young, apparently he's created a name for himself in German football. He's sort of highly regarded there, even though he's 31, and his team sort of built from the back. The defenders are sort of love passing the ball around. They take risks. Apparently, his football was described as patient and attractive. So who knows? Maybe worth taking the risk with that.
And if there's any club who's ready to take risks like that, it is Brighton.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it goes out. We'll see how it goes. Prashant, you were saying that we haven't spoken about Enzo Maresca being Chelsea manager. We haven't spoken about that. It's because till the season starts, we feel that he'll be sacked. So let's not waste time with that. Let's just see how it goes.
That's a good point. Yeah.
And then we can talk about it. Also, in a fantastic case of basically Uno reverse, Man City are suing the Premier League.
Yes.
They're trying to abolish the associated party transaction regulations, which the Premier League champions believe are illegal. And so they've sued the Premier League. Basically, Man City are saying, yaar, tumhare jo profit and loss rules hai na, wo fuck all. We are not able to do what we want to do. So fuck you, we're taking you to court. In fact, I think it was Khaldun Al-Mubarak who said that it is going to be better for us to keep suing the Premier League and spend all that money on lawyers than have this structure kind of play out. And I'm like, it's obvious that all it does is it distracts from the 115 charges.
Obviously.
Yeah. You know what I'm actually feeling like? I actually feel like when they wanted that Super League, I feel like we should just let them have it. And then we should have all just set refresh, have all these clubs get out of our sight, have their own stupid league, and then we should have just gone back to pick new teams. Like I would have picked maybe a Leicester City or something and start afresh, because actually now it's feeling so inconvenient now, irritating to have a club like Man City. Like it's feeling weird. Like I'm like, what are you doing? How are you suing? It's like if I failed an exam and I got caught cheating, I'm not gonna sue the entire
Yeah.
school,
Yeah,
or
Was
I'm not gonna sue the entire education system.
was one legal case not enough? That's my point.
yeah,
Now you have to sit
yeah,
and read
Yeah.
what is FFP, what is APT. I'm here to
yeah,
watch the football, not read
yeah.
documents on
Yeah.
legal things.
Exactly, exactly. Like we want to we don't want this much content, guys. अपने को नहीं करने का है, बहुत
I
टाइम
know.
नहीं है किसी के पास. हम लोग को मैच देखने का है, and we want to comment on the match. That's all we want to do, guys.
Yeah,
Please,
not the
We just want to
165
say
pager
referee Loda
document.
hai. That's what we want to say.
that's all we want to say. That is all we want to say. Even FIFA is in a bit of trouble because their new and improved structure, I mean, I put improved in quotes because I don't think it is that improved. Structure for the Club World Cup has met with some serious backlash from the clubs. Earlier, what was, I think, a 4-team tournament, so just semi-finals and then finals, I think it used to be, uh, 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 which was played by the winners of all the Champions Leagues from each of the footballing federations, is now going to be a 32 club tournament to be played between June and July. कैसे होने वाला है, guys? How are these players going to play football? Like that means that next year, within 2 weeks of playing the Champions League final, players will have to play the Club World Cup.
Yeah, I think each team now should have at least 60 players.
Yeah,
Like,
much like the
oh,
NFL.
Yeah, 55-man
like
rosters.
yeah.
You have a
And
completely different. Yeah, but it's. I mean, does anybody who's listening to this podcast want to try out for a elite level football team, guys? Because I feel like slots are going to open, supply and need demand. You know,
Right.
I think we have a shot. If you play any level of football, they will have to Club World Cup के लिए आजा हमारे squad में. We'll draft you in. I think it'll be great. But Real Madrid have said no. Man City have also, I think, said no. Real Madrid, in fact, said no so emphatically that Carlo Ancelotti said, रियल मैड्रिड का एक मैच 20 मिलियन यूरोस के लिए होता है और तुम लोडू लोग पूरे टूर्नामेंट के लिए 20 मिलियन देने वाले हो, हम लोग नहीं आएंगे. Of course, I am paraphrasing. That's not exactly what Carlo Ancelotti said. Although I feel like it would have been amazing if that is exactly what he said.
yeah, he does come from the Hindi part of Italy, so it
Yes,
does
yes, yes, yeah. It is Hindu Rashtra after all. Where is Italy ka E? India ka E, it's the same. It was written in the no. Mukesh is shaking his head vigorously, saying, "I do not want to be cancelled."
Cancelled? You think my problem is I'm going to be cancelled?
Oh, I meant not from social media. I meant from life. But yeah, there we go. So I mean, it's just ridiculous that FIFA is doing this. FIFPro and the International Association of, I think, Pro Athletes or something it's called, they're both lobbying against this. FIFA, of course, want to do their own thing. FIFA are launching their own game as well, by the way, with the whole thing of EA Sports and FIFA, ending their partnership. FIFA, the line of FIFA games is now called EAFC, but FIFA are making their own football game, and I feel like the news is that 2K Games, which does NBA 2K series, is going to be doing the new FIFA games. Why is FIFA just fucking everything up? Like, change is not good, guys. Like, I feel like we are also getting to that age where we don't want the change. Like, I know all the kids want it. All the kids have very bad attention spans. They don't want 90-minute games. They want the games to be shared on TikTok. Fuck you guys. Like, you guys are not doing anything to society. Your opinion does not matter. Fuck you. Just have your vegan food and fuck off. Like, don't change. I sound like such an uncle, but it is truly what I feel. It is truly what I feel.
Am I supposed to take offense on behalf of Gen Z?
I mean, I feel like are we all Gen Z? Are we all millennial? I don't even know what the fuck generation we are anymore.
Straight up boomer. I'm always not even like in any of these conversations, but yeah.
मैं दिल से boomer हूँ मैं. So I feel like I just don't like it, guys. I don't like it.
I know. First Sunil Chhetri retiring and now FIFA changing.
Everything is changing, guys. Everything is changing. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, shall we wrap it up? I think it's been a good episode, guys. And girl, again, I mistook it again.
Let's go.
But no, yes, thank you so much, Mansi, for joining us. It has been so lovely to talk football
Yes.
with you. And if you're up for it, we'd love to have you over a lot more because I feel like you have settled in perfectly well.
Yep.
We don't need an Everton fan. Akash, you can fuck off. All the other work that you're doing, it's more important, that apparently pays you money and all. Keep doing that. We have somebody to do free work for us. But yes, it was lovely having you, and thank you so much, dear listeners, for listening to this episode. If you'd like to get in touch with us and tell us what you thought of this episode, you can reach us on our social media. You can find Prashant on Instagram at
Prash224.
You can find Mukesh on Instagram at
Mukesh Manjunath.
You can find Mansi on Twitter at
Manasi Pathak _
and you can find me on Instagram at Abograndive. You can also follow the Corner Flag on Instagram and Twitter at @CornerFlagPod. Do visit and subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/@CornerFlagPod. Also subscribe to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your pods from. And do not forget to give us a 5-star review because that genuinely helps us. It doesn't cost you anything, doesn't even take a lot of your time. Just give us that 5-star review and turn on automatic downloads and press the bell icon and like and share. Okay, too many calls to action, but do the business. That's all we ask from you. Shout out to Kaizad Gurda for composing our theme tune. And until next week, it is goodbye from us. So say bye, Prashant.
Bye, guys.
Say bye, Mukesh.
Bye, guys.
Say bye, Mansi.
Bye-bye.
And it's bye from me.